Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My name is Donna Raven. I'm your worship associate this morning, and our service leader today is our very own Lori Whittemore. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Saco and Biddeford. The service is being live streamed, and it's recorded. For those who are joining us on YouTube, we encourage you to have a chalice so that you can light and join us as we light ours here in a few moments. Whoever you are, wherever you come from, whomever you love, we are glad you are here with us today. The theme for this month of October is compassion. We invite you to contemplate this theme with us today and carry it into your daily life when you leave here. Let us welcome the youngest members who are here with us today. May we recognize their noises and rustlings as our next generation participates in worship with us. And especially today, it's going to be a very next generation centered service. We commit to be co-stewards of this land owned by the Wabanaki Confederation and to work toward a world that is just and thriving for the whole of the web of life. We invite you to take home the order of service for your information and announcements, or you may leave it for recycling as you leave the sanctuary. At this time, please silence your cell phones. And just information, there will be a social hour in the parish hall after the service. Please join us for conversation and refreshments.
And I need to make an announcement too before we get going. I was a little quick to get the order of service out, and I didn't actually attribute all the wonderful work that our youth have done to make today possible. And so I didn't get their names in the order of service, and I will share those with you as they come up and do their jobs, because they're going to do a great job. We've had so much help getting today ready, and they're going to be integral to this service. So after the service, in the coffee hour, if you could just give them a thank you, I would really appreciate it. I'm going to invite Katie and her sister up to help light our chalice. And we're using the words of our kiddos that they light the chalice every time they start on Sundays, and we're using their words this morning. So if you take this candle and light it, and then light that chalice, I'll start the words, okay? And then you can blow that out. And you can even make the hand motions, which I think is super fun too. So, we are Unitarian Universalists who put love at the center of our lives. We, our friends, have lit the chalice today. May the flames remind us to be grateful for the gifts of our ancestors. And I invite you to close your eyes for a moment and remember and smile at the happy memories that you have. Welcome, friends, to this sacred turning of the year, to Samhain, our Samhain service, the threshold when autumn's abundance yields to winter's quiet. Today we gather in gratitude for the harvest of our lives and in reverence for those who came before us, ancestors of spirit, of blood, of our traditions, whose love and courage still shape our days every day. This is a day for remembering and for release, for honoring the mystery that life and death are part of the same thing, are part of one great circle, of one great cycle. As the veil between the worlds grows thin at this time of year, may we find wisdom in the dark, comfort in community, and hope in the promise of renewal. Welcome to this time of reflection, remembrance, and deep belonging. Now, we had a helper to ding the gong this morning, but I heard she's a little bit late. So I'm wondering, it was going to be Nadine, but I wonder, Tess, you just got here. Can you help me with the task this morning? Can you come right up? I'm going to have you hit our singing bowl this morning to help us start. Does that sound okay? Can you give that a big hit? One more time. Oh. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. You did it. In fact, do you want to stay and help with the Wonder Box? Because we're going to do the Wonder Box now. Let me grab my thing. Because you all know when you get out of routine what happens, right? So, each month we explore a different theme, and each week we explore the monthly theme in a new way using a Wonder Box. That's what happens in religious exploration for us. And it's a tactile way, actually, of really thinking about what we're trying to accomplish in the church. So the Wonder Box provides us with a clue of today's unique service, maybe even more than one clue. So what we do is we shake it, and we have a couple of people guess what's in it, and then we peek afterwards. And if somebody actually guesses it, well, that's all the better. So Tess, for my helper, because you know how this goes, can you bring it around to 3 people and have them shake it and guess? And you know what? That means I need one of these, so just a moment. Who do you want to pick? You know Ron there? He's a guest, so why don't we have him shake it? He's right there with the white shirt. Let's have him shake it. Ron is a guest, and he's a guest musician, so let's have him shake it. Yep, shake it and guess what's in it. Give it a shake. Shake it. No peeking. You got to shake it. What do you think is in that box?
Oh, it's got to be, I don't know, marbles.
Marbles. Nope, it's not, but it's a good guess. All right, let's take it to someone else for a shake and a guess. Who do you think? Oh, it's Joanna. Joanna. Give it a... And it might be more than one thing, just so you know. Can you guess anything that's in there? There's no ball. Good guess, though. Let's take it around to the other side of the church and let someone have a good guess. Oh, there's lots of folks on that side who are good guessers, I think. So let's go get a good guess over here. Who are we going to have guess? Yay. What do you guess? What do you think's in there? No rocks, but it's a good guess. All right, let's get one more guess because I think somebody should get something here. So you pick, oh, Myra's going to give it a guess. An action figure. You know, no, but sort of. We'll get to that. Let's bring the Wonder Box up front, and then we'll open it, and we'll show you, and you'll learn how that means something for today. So I'm going to have, oh, let me see. Am we turning this off here? Okay. So why don't you come up here so we can open it and show everyone what's in the box? All right, do you want to set it here so you can open it? And when you open it, there's a couple of things. So I want you to hold each one up, and I will, let me see, where am I here? I will explain them if I can find. Lots of wonder here. So that's kind of an action figure, but you know what it is? You know what? Can you take that and turn it on? It's actually meant to be a candle. So it's a candle. And then she already held another one up. Oh, there's a picture. And the picture actually is of my father-in-law who passed away in June. And I want to remember him because he was a very thoughtful and welcoming human to me when I joined the family. So I'm going to put him on the altar. What else is in there? Oh, leaves. And leaves symbolize the turning of the cycle of the year. They were beautiful and green all summer. They gave life to so many things. And their cycle is passing, and they show us their beautiful colors, but they also show us of the transition. So I'm going to ask you, my dear friend and helper, can you go put those down on that altar for me? And all of these. Wait, you got to take this. And then, what else do you think that means? This is the time in the Wonder Box where we brainstorm what we think what the wonder means. I think I kind of gave it away. So I'll just go into it because it's going to be a long service. So in this lesson for the kiddos was to explain what it is to explore gratitude through our ancestors and all the gifts that the cycle of life gives us. And we do that in Samhain, by creating an altar and placing things on it that have meaning to us. And it highlights culture and connection and the sacred thread of life that leads us all to connection with our past and also with each other. So we make an altar, and I wanted to know if anybody can tell me what an altar is. Anybody know what an altar is? Does any of the young folks know what an altar is? Nobody. Come on now. How long have you guys been making altars, for goodness sakes? Altars are something that spiritual communities make that sets apart space for holiness, for sacred. And we use them just like we use a worship service to set aside sacred time for remembrance and for connection. And so today we've made a Samhain altar, and let me see something. On this Samhain altar, I mentioned that the kiddos were super helpful in preparing for today. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the altar that they helped make. They, in one of their times together, created an altar cloth of leaves, and they discussed the significance of the turning of the wheel. They may not have used those words, but of the passing of time with the beautiful coloring and dyeing and falling of leaves. And they made that for us for our time together today. They also created, there goes the Wonder Box, this tree of memory. So they created more leaves in that theme, and they wrote people who have passed and animals who have passed and other things that they want to remember. So that's another way that they've helped make things holy. That would have been on the altar, but it just wouldn't fit. And so the other things on the altar are your pictures and your remembrances, the harvest items that also teach us this beautiful lesson. The flowers that make it all beautiful this time of year, and candles. So pictures help us remember those who have passed. It's part of the Day of the Dead celebration for folks from other cultures, and it's part of our Samhain celebration. These are the harvest items that the pagans, the Celtic pagans, would put on an altar to mark the turning of the cycle of the year. And we've also, so we have two cultures now, right? And our third culture is we've got candles up here. And lighting candles in memory of people became a Christian thing with All Saints' Days. And so we blend today, or we hold up different cultures as we make our altar, to remember that we come from a tradition that honors all beliefs and all ways of thinking. And as we honor our people and our memories, we recognize that that sacred thread not only goes through our ancestors and traditions, but it goes through all of us and ties us all together as a community. So that's the significance of our altar that we will continue to make together through this morning. So that is the wonder of today. And again, I want to thank the young folks who worked super hard to help put it together for all of you today. So when we get to our ritual, and I invite you up to name what you've put on there, or just take a look at the altar, I just want you to keep that in mind. So, all of that being said, let's stand as you feel called to, and we're going to sing hymn number 361, a favorite of the kiddos, Enter, Rejoice, and Come In.
Enter, rejoice, and come in.
Well, now's my favorite time. Let's turn and greet our neighbors, new and longtime neighbors. Neighbor. Getting through it, right? Moving it forward, moving it forward. Neighbor, good morning. Oh, good, good. Good, good, good. I gotta go greet my neighbor here. Neighbor, neighbor, good, hello.
This is the time in our service when we invite people to share what's in their hearts. Whether it's a great joy or a deep sorrow, it's not a time for announcements or political statements. But if you wish, please come forward to light a candle. Tell us your name if you'd like, and share your joy or sorrow with us if you choose to do so.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm Catherine Garrity, and I want your help with something. I want you all to say the name Beth with me on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Beth. Thank you so much. My brother-in-law's sister just passed away. She was a beautiful person inside and out, and she's gone home, and we're very happy that she's gone where she belongs. So thank you so much. I think she can hear that.
Hi, I'm Nikki, and I have a joy today. My friends Karen and Lou Deering are visiting from Pennsylvania. Karen just provided that beautiful piece of music. So we have a long history of laughs and great times and music, and it is a joy to have them here.
I'm Edith, and I want to thank everyone for their continuing love and prayers and concerns. It's obviously working. I'm feeling better every day. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Kathy. I just want to share a joyful day we had yesterday. I participated in the Hike for Hospice, Hospice of Southern Maine. It's a place that's near and dear to my heart, as they took care of my Pat as well as my mom, and have come full circle now because Melissa's now a nurse working with them. So yesterday was a joyful day. They raised over $52,000 with over 300 walkers. So if it's of interest to you, they always have regular fundraisers, and the walk was so much fun every October. It was a great day, so my heart's full from all of that.
Hi, my name is Ron, and Joyce and I we came to this church a few years ago. Well, we were here for almost 15 years. And I felt a calling for her this morning to get up and say her name and to say that we were here for years. And it's interesting, the very first dream I had about Joyce, soon after her death, she was walking outside the church. And she gave me a key. And it was a key to this church. And so I felt like my recovery, I've always been very spiritual and loved God and loved Jesus, but I felt my recovery was totally dependent not on me, but on a higher power. And if I followed that higher power, I'd be okay. So, thank you.
I have an extra large and colorful candle to put into the memory, because yesterday was extra large and colorful as people came and participated in Workday, and we are most grateful. Lori C., Ann Dobson, Patrick Freeman, Sonia Gherkin, Nikki Norman, Betsy Pace, Jane Perkins, Sam Rogers, and Randa Thomas all were here and got paint or dirt or, oh, Moshesh. And it was great. So thank you very much to everyone who participated.
So, my mom's dad passed away. Yeah, and 5 years before I was born.
And we've been missing you all. We were sick the last couple weeks. Yesterday, we attended a funeral and got to see a friend of mine who had met Tess when she was an infant and a couple of years ago, and got to hang out with her sister's 2.5-year-old, and weren't planning on it, but ended up going to the service and then the reception and spending more time with them back at their place. So had a really good time connecting with their family. Yeah, anyway, thank you.
Hi, I'm Kelsey. That candle I just lit is for Melissa Caminiti. She asked us this morning to light a candle for her and her family. Her granddaughter, Charlotte, is having some medical struggles and may need some time in the hospital when she gets a little bigger. So she asked for your thoughts and prayers and love for her and Charlotte and Luca and Tristan and all of them. So, and then I'm also going to light another candle. I was just sitting this morning thinking about how, for me anyway, and I imagine I'm not the only one, this moment of the fall from here forward until January feels really big and often demands a lot of attention and energy and scheduling. And so I'm just wanting strength and calm and peace for the weeks coming ahead for all of us. Thanks.
I've lit one last candle for all those joys and sorrows that remain unspoken. And I ask you to take a moment to hold what we have heard this morning in our hearts.
Let's take a deep breath together. I invite you to center yourself where you're sitting and open your hearts and minds to reflection for a moment. Source of all there is, we join together to give thanks for what is and what has been, and we join together in sorrow to recognize our losses as we enter the thin veil. We know you welcome us in our full, authentic selves with both joy and sorrow. Remind us in this moment that we stand together In fact, you give us as the source each other to remember that we're never alone in this thin veil. And I ask that the peace that passes all understanding feel heartily present with us this morning and in these months to come. So be it.
Today's reading is the threshold of autumn night. The leaves have turned, their stories told. The harvest folded in the earth's dark fold. The sun bows early. Dusk arrives. The year leans closer to its silent night. We light the flame and set the table still, a place for those whose days we could not fill. Their laughter lingers in the hearth-warm air, their wisdom hollowed out in empty chair. In this turning we remember the footsteps fading from the path we wander. We honor those whose seeds still grow beneath the snow yet rising slow. The veil is thin, the threshold here, between what was and what will appear. In quiet dark, we reach our hands into the place the unseen stands. And when dawn returns again, we carry both our joy and pain, knowing endings bring beginnings true, the old made new in morning's dew.
Now please stand as you're able and join me in singing hymn number 1001, Breaths. And Nikki is going to lead us because we're not used to singing this, so she's going to give us a little bit of the...
Yeah, this is a hymn, but we're going to try and sing it today. So Karen will play the melody through once, and then we'll all sing it together. And listen to Myra, too, because Myra knows this piece.
Please be seated. So this is a service about honoring the ancestors, and I want to share a bit about Samhain for those who may not be familiar, and a refresher for those who are. Samhain is the turning of the year. As the days grow shorter and the air sharpens, we enter the season that the ancient Celts call Samhain. The hinge of the year, that's what Samhain means, the hinge of the year. Samhain, I mean, it looks like Samhain, but it's called Samhain. I was corrected early in my career. Means summer's end. It falls at the midpoint between autumn equinox and the winter solstice, marking the end of the harvest and the beginning of the long dark, which Kelsey referred to. Now, they are not part of something to be feared. It reminds us that endings and beginnings are not separate. It is one great circle, the wheel of life turning again and again, the light into darkness, the darkness into light. In the old Celtic world, Samhain was considered the new year, and that's true in other traditions as well. The year begins not in the light of spring, but in the stillness of the dark. The Celts understood something we often forget, and that is creation starts in the damp, dark soil before the months of sun draw out the sprouts. Dreams form in the depths of sleep and darkness before they become reality. Fires were lit to symbolize shared strength and renewal as the veil between the worlds grew thin and the spirits of the ancestors were honored. The flames of our candles today will symbolize that on our altar. And there is, as the reading talked about, the thread of memory that's part of Samhain. Over time, the Christian church layered new holy days onto older ones. That was part of growing the Christianity. And All Hallows Eve, All Saints' Day, All Souls' Day were ways of kind of shifting the pagan thoughts about the turning cycles of life. And they became things like in Mexico, the Day of the Dead, so taking the honoring of the ancestors and mixing that with a holy day when Catholicism took root. So whether we name it Samhain or something else, the impulse is the same: to remember and give thanks. There is a thread that runs through all of us, to our own families, to our own ancestors, and the thread runs through all of humanity, everybody's ancestors, and everybody who's sitting here in the pews today. We believe here that it's one of our principles that we are all a part of the interdependent web of existence. That web is made by these threads of you and I. The web is made to remind us that we are all connected. Me to you, you to the mail carrier, your mail carrier to their partner to the sister to the mayor to the unhoused. Today, though, we think of the thread as it moves back into our past, into our connections here in this community that have passed, the connections in our lives. And with that cycle of seasons of the wheel, the sacred wheel, we recognize the sacredness of the dark. As I was mentioning, the dark isn't death. It's the incubation of what's to come. Samhain invites us into a different relationship with darkness. In modern life, we're taught to resist the dark, to keep the lights on, to stay productive, to chase perpetual summer and light, to chase happiness, to go, go, go. But the earth tells us a wiser story, and the ancients marked it. The dark season is not a mistake, not to be dreaded, although it's okay if you do. It is essential. It invites us to rest, to listen, to remember, to integrate is a word I heard today. It is not the opposite of light. It is the womb. And for the kiddos here, the womb is part of your mother that grew you, and it was dark, but it was nurturing. It's where you grew. And this celebration marks that we are returning to that womb. It's dark, but it nurtures us, and we grow. Together in Samhain, we face our mortality. The same fire that warms us all will one day consume us, and that's not scary. That's part of this cycle. That's part of our story. And unless we live in such a way that what we kindle continues on life, love, and kindness, then death becomes that reality. But death, in the wisdom of the earth, is not final. It's transformation. And we need that darkness for that transformation to percolate. As Parker Palmer, famous Quaker, writes, the task of the later years in our life is to harvest what life gives us, blessings and burdens alike, and offer that harvest as a gift to others. All gifts we have are always unmerited, truly. We don't merit the grace that's in our lives. And so, as we grow, we share that grace. But we also share the merit of our burdens, because everybody has burdens. And as you get older, you recognize life has given you the tools, mostly, to navigate those burdens. And that, perhaps, is the greatest gift we give the generations behind us. That is the strength we have to navigate those burdens. That you have somehow found a path in your life to move you forward, and new generation, you will too. That is one of the greatest gifts. So, we are not only descendants of those who came before, but we are also the ancestors of those yet to come. What values will they receive from us? What stories will they tell of their time in the pews, of their time at school, of their time around the table? What picture or object can they place on this altar in times to come? Samhain calls us to live intentionally and to leave behind our courage and kindness and compassion, to cultivate compassion for years to come. Gifts that outlast anything we might leave to them in a will. Gifts that give them the strength to pass it on. So in the ritual and renewal of Samhain that the ancient Celts gave us, we place objects on our altar and light memory candle and speak names of the beloved dead. We join an ancient act of connection, which is what we're all about here, by the way. Grief and gratitude, darkness and light intertwine. Samhain holds space for both the mourning and the hope and the renewal, and it reminds us that in every loss lies the seed of new life. And in fact, there is no loss. There is transformation. Our shared light, the warmth of community, is our protection and our promise and our peace. The circle unbroken, Samhain teaches us that life and death are not separate, but phases of one eternal dance. The ancestors live in our stories, our actions, our courage. When we speak their values, when we carry their flame forward, when we light our candles, the circle turns, generation to generation, breath to breath, as our hymn just said. So as we cross into the dark half of the year, let's continue to honor those who came before us with gratitude and with grace. May we trust the wisdom of rest and renewal and take that darkness as that womb to grow them, to grow what is yet to come. May we find beauty in the endings and hope in the unseen. And may we remember that the light we kindle of compassion, of truth, of love, when it is so needed right now, will shine long after we're gone, and in fact will transform the world. And that is our call as we become the ancestors. So open yourself to the quiet, fertile dark, where every ending becomes a beginning again. And let me say that if you are at home, if you're following us at home, as we begin to make our altar, I invite you to put a towel down or anything of meaning and make your own altar as we do. So begins the ritual. And again, I want to honor the work of the kiddos who were so helpful to make our altar items and who are serving today to make this space super sacred, because what we do as a worship team is make this space sacred for you so you can drop in. And the kiddos have really done that today. It's sacred work. And I'm delighted, I want to say, to invite Ron Hool up, who's also going to play some meditative music as we make the altar. Beloved for years in music and in presence. And so I want to invite Moishus up, who's going to help me, and actually any kiddo who wants to help right now as we start to make our altar sacred. And again, I'm going to name what's on the altar as the, there we go. Well, that was sacred. Oh, can you put this up there? Do you want to put that on the altar right there? Okay. Oops. Again, they've drawn leaves and we've placed leaves. We have candles. We have harvest items. We have the pictures you've brought. And we have sacred objects that you've brought. As we prepare this space to honor the turning of the year, let's remember to give thanks and to find peace as the days darken. So I'm going to ask Moishus to light the candles. He helped me check the batteries yesterday. And I'm going to put these candles out here because we didn't want to set the leaves on fire, although I'm going to maybe give that a try to light some candles and not set the leaves on fire. Do you want to be right here and help blow out those candles in case things don't go well? That would be super helpful because, you know, part of making this space sacred is being ready for the chaos of life. Now I'm going to light this, but I don't want to light you on fire, okay? Thank you so much. Again, the leaves kind of teach us of nature's turning. The light reminds us of our ancestors, and the objects we bring ties us all together to it. So, I invite all of you who have brought objects to, Tess, can you run over and get that microphone that's on the table and bring it to me? I invite everybody who brought an object to come up and share the significance of the object if they feel called. And if you haven't placed your, I'm sorry, yes, please start. If you haven't placed your object, feel free to do so now. And I just invite you to keep it brief because there may be a lot of people coming up. Tess, can you hand this to everybody who comes up? Oops, there we go. You can sit there if you want.
I'm Donna, and this is my beloved mother and her two sisters. My mother was Kay, and it's Bev and Cheryl, who've all passed.
Hi, so I brought my poor little geranium. Earlier this year, I just moved here from Connecticut, and earlier this year I had placed that on my great-grandmother's grave, and I did not have the heart to leave it behind. I have done a great deal of genealogy on my Agnes McDonough Calkins. And I went to Ireland earlier this year and found a cousin, a live cousin. And having the ancestors and thinking about all the people that came before me just brings extra special meaning to this day.
Hi, and I brought a picture. It's not an ancestor, but it's Pat, who I thought this was the perfect time to bring her to church, which was so important to her. And I know she lives in many hearts. Sitting here, you're all nodding your heads. And there's a picture of her with our little Sammy, who this picture was probably taken 5 years ago in the next couple weeks. And we brought him home as a rescue dog. And he's sitting on her lap where he jumped into her lap and never, ever left her side till she took her last breath. And it just seemed like the perfect time to remember all of that here with so many of you. And yes, she brought her ancestors to us too, so I'll just add that little piece. Thank you.
I brought this picture from, these are my foster parents. They were in assisted living, and they were chosen king and queen for the day. So they're dancing. So they both passed, and but that was a precious moment for them. So.
I just brought some leaves in. I took a hike with a few of my roommates yesterday to enjoy the beautiful fall weather, and there's some leaves that had gone through an early frost and turned a very beautiful color of red, which they've changed once again, but it just represents the changing of the seasons to me and community. Thank you.
I brought a photo of my dear friend Theana. She's actually holding Lucas as an infant. She's a really special friend of mine who I knew when I was younger in Maine, and then we both moved to California and went to graduate school there, and she helped me get there, and she died of ALS several years ago, and I miss her very much.
I brought a picture of my horse, Pony Boy. I met him in 2011, the same year I met my husband, and he passed away about 4 years ago, and I just wanted to honor him here.
Do you want to give her a turn down? Oh, do you want to give her a turn down with the microphone? Thank you.
This is a picture of my mom and dad, Grace and Norman Lockwood, who taught me many lessons in life and showed me about the end of life that can be a positive thing.
Hi, everybody. I brought some different memorial pieces for each of my grandmothers. They both have their ashes in them. Both of my grandmothers played a huge part in raising me, and they both passed away before I graduated high school. So I'm just remembering them today and wishing that I got a chance to know them as an adult. But I'm really grateful that I got to spend all the time I did with them when I was a kid.
some names, and then I'm going to tell a couple of really short stories. Walter Cotton and his parents, Lois and Paul Cotton, Jazz Showell, Rosa Meyer and her parents, Barbara Showell and Tess's 10 cousins, who all live in Delaware, Bob Cotton, Jennifer Redding, Tom Cotton, Ben Cotton. And I'm also thinking of my ancestor, Augustus Van Cleve, who emigrated to the United States in the 1700s from what is now the Netherlands, and was fleeing religious persecution. And my grandfather on my mother's side was a descendant of his, and my mom's mom, Carmen Montes, who was from Peru and passed away when I was only 3 weeks old, and Tessa's father's ancestors, who were enslaved in the French West Indies. So, yeah.
Hi, Joanna, Lori, and we brought pictures of our moms, and they died on opposite. Thank you. Coasts. My mother was here in Maine, and
my mother was in Washington State with us.
And we were caring for her, and they died the same night. Really, one expected, one unexpected.
And I'd also like to say that they were both immigrants to this country. Joanna's mom came from Jamaica. My mother came from England. And they served their countries in so many ways, their country in so many ways. And I want to honor that part of their lives.
This is my husband of many years, Bob. He died 7 years ago, too young. He was a good man and an incredible artist. I miss him.
And I had the honor of lighting many candles, and I told Joe, who started our month from Portland Recovery, in a conversation, he shared with me that this past year, over 400 human souls died in Maine, in this area, from overdose and from complications with being unhoused. We share our plate this month with Portland Treatment, but I want us to feel the impact of that, because their faceless presence is with us, and it's being honored here today. Over 400 souls. And so now is the time in our ritual where we bless this altar that's been made so sacred. May this altar hold our memories in gentleness and strength. May it remind us that life and death are woven together, and that love, once kindled, never dies. Thank you. As the year turns and the night deepens, may we carry the warmth of our ancestors in our hearts. May we rest in the quiet hope and in the darkness. And to end this ceremony, I'm actually going to light this candle of memory as a flame of remembrance. And I have to move this picture. May it shine for those lives that touched us all, both the named and the unnamed. And we're going to just take a few moments of silence so you can call to mind those who weren't placed here. Thank you so much. You did a great. Thanks. So now's the time in the service where we do our offering, and we have helpers today who are going to help with the collection. We have Betsy and Donna, but we also have, I believe, Kit and Jesse who are going to help Betsy and Donna. Are you still going to help them this morning? You can go right to the back and you can help with the collection, okay? When we gather together as a community, we bring the gifts of ourselves, our hearts, our spirits, our time and energy, our talents and skills to support the work of the church within our walls and out in the larger community. We also bring the gift of generosity, giving what we have so the work here can continue, the worship here can continue. But as always, we share our plate with somebody in the larger community doing great work. As I just mentioned, we are collecting money this month, sharing our plate with Portland Treatment, who is trying to start a fund to help folks in recovery get other items that they need, like dental care and vision care. If you're watching from home, you can make a contribution by the Give button on the top of the webpage, uusacobiddeford.org, or checks can be mailed to UUCSB, 60 School Street, Saco, Maine. This morning's offering will now be received.
please remain standing and join me in the intergenerational words for extinguishing our chalice.
Katie, where's Katie? And she's going to have a helper. And you can blow on it. Can you blow on it?
As we release this flame from its faithful service today, let us remember we are Unitarian Universalists. We went up into the mind. As we go out into the world, let us remember that everyone should celebrate themselves exactly as they are. Okay.
She said she wasn't going to do these. Well,
and please join us in singing hymn number 413, Go Now in Peace.
please be seated. As we leave this sacred time, may we carry with us the stillness of the season, the deep knowing that every ending opens a new life. May the love of those we remember this morning shine quietly within us, guiding our steps in the dark. May we walk gently with mystery, trusting the unseen seeds of tomorrow's life. Go in peace, go in reverence and in gratitude for the turning of the year, for the gift of memories, and for the promise that life endures, ever changing, ever returning. Blessed Samhain to all of you, and blessed be. Our service has concluded. I thank you all so much for joining us and making it a sacred morning. Special thanks to Ron, who helped make the ritual special, and also for the special music that I wasn't even ready for, and it's great. It was great. And to the kiddos who really helped make the space sacred. I also want to, before I invite you to coffee, I forgot to announce this. New Member Sunday will be the last Sunday in November. We have a meeting November 9th at 9 a.m. For anybody who's even thinking about it, please reach out to me. I might reach out to you first, and let's have a conversation. We would love for you to become formally a part of this community. So after the postlude, remain seated for now, and after the postlude, join me for coffee and cookies. It's my favorite part of the morning.